Bangalore, known as the Silicon Valley of India, is a tech-savvy city where even a small theft is considered a major event. However, on August 10, 2010, a call came to the Holo police station about a murder at an apartment in BDA. The case shocked the entire Bangalore police force. Usually people think that only uneducated people commit crimes out of poverty, anger, or misunderstanding. But what if an educated person with a good job and an annual pension of millions of dollars commits a heinous crime? This case will make you wonder how a husband could do such a terrible thing to his wife. This heartbreaking incident took place in a flat and B-Day layout, and the victim was none other than a Priyanka Gupta, a dedicated teacher. The perpetrator was her husband Satish Kumar Gupta, a software engineer working at Infosys. What happened? What was the motive behind this crime? Let's dive into the details of the case to find out the truth behind this tragic story. Now let's get started. Priyanka Gupta was born in 1981 in Uttar Pradesh, India. Raised in a middle-class family, she grew up in an environment filled with love and care. Priyanka's family valued education and always encouraged her to learn and develop herself. From a young age, Priyanka showed that she was an intelligent, hardworking girl with a special passion for learning. Throughout her childhood and school years, Priyanka was always an excellent student. She not only achieved high academic results, but also actively participated in extracurricular and social activities. Priyanka especially loved literature and science, and she always dreamed of becoming a teacher so that she could help and impart knowledge to other children. After completing her high school education, Priyanka continued to pursue her dream by enrolling in a prestigious college in Lucknow. She majored in education, aiming to become a good teacher. During her time in college, Priyanka worked hard and always topped her class. She received praise from her teachers and friends for her dedication and willingness to learn. After graduating from college, Priyanka began her teaching career at a government school with her dedication and passion for teaching. She quickly won the trust and love of her students and colleagues. Priyanka's lectures are not only academic but also contain lessons about life and ethics, helping students develop comprehensively. Satish Kumar Gupta, born in 1971, is a talented software engineer and human resources manager at Infosys, one of India's leading technology companies, born and raised in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. He comes from a well-off middle-class family. Since childhood, his family has been oriented towards his studies and career in the field of information technology. Throughout his school and college years, Satish excelled in academics. He studied at one of the top universities in India, majoring in software engineering. After graduating, Satish quickly landed a job at Infosys, where he worked hard and rose rapidly in his career. With his intelligence and talent, he became one of the youngest HR managers in the company. Satish Kumar Gupta and Priyanka Gupta met through an arranged marriage, a common tradition in Indian culture where families play a major role in choosing a spouse for their children. They first met in 2006 when their families arranged to get together to get to know each other. The first meeting between them took place at Priyanka's house, where both families organized a meeting for the two to get to know each other. The meeting took place in an intimate and cozy atmosphere, with the participation of members of both families. Both Satish and Priyanka felt satisfied with each other and decided to get married. After getting married, Satish and Priyanka moved to Bangalore to start a new life. Bangalore, also known as the Silicon Valley of India, was the ideal place for Satish to grow his career in the technology industry. They rented an apartment in the Hulamaview area of South Bangalore and quickly settled down. Priyanka found a job as a teacher at Delhi Public School, South Bangalore. She is a dedicated teacher and is loved by her colleagues and students. Priyanka is not only a good teacher, but also a friend and a big sister to her students. She always tries her best to impart valuable lessons and moral values to her students. Satish continued working at Infosys, where he rose rapidly in his career. He was known as a hardworking, intelligent, and talented employee. Satish's career flourished, and he became one of the youngest HR managers in the company. During the initial years of their marriage, Satish and Priyanka lived a happy and peaceful life. They often spent time together on weekends, traveling and exploring new places together. They also visited their families in Lucknow, where they both grew up to maintain a good relationship with their relatives. However, married life is not always smooth sailing. Gradually, small conflicts in the family begin to appear and accumulate into major tensions. One of the main causes of conflicts between them is the difference in their outlook on life and the way they handle daily problems. Another key point of conflict is Priyanka's relationship with her husband's family. Priyanka and her mother-in-law do not have a good relationship, and there are frequent conflicts. This makes Satish feel awkward and puts a lot of pressure on him. Whenever there is an argument between his wife and mother, Satish often feels torn between his love for his wife and his filial piety towards his mother. The climax of these conflicts came in 2010 when Satish's parents visited them in Bangalore. During an argument, Priyanka insulted her in-laws, leaving them feeling humiliated. This made Satish extremely angry and felt that he could no longer bear the tension in the family. Satish started planning to kill his wife to avenge his parents' humiliation. He pretended that everything was normal and continued his daily life as if nothing had happened. However, in Satish's mind, he had planned out his crime in detail. On August 10, 2010, Satish pretended to go for a jog as usual. He asked Priyanka to stay at home and not open the door for anyone. Satish prepared ropes and a sharp knife to execute his plan. When he returned to the apartment, SS entered the room where Priyanka was and suddenly attacked her. Satish strangled Priyanka with a rope until she lost consciousness. This was not only to kill her, but also to ensure that there was no resistance from Priyanka. After strangling his wife, Satish used a knife to slit Priyanka's throat to ensure that she was dead. This action showed his ruthlessness and determination in ensuring that Priyanka did not survive. To mislead the police and create a fake crime scene, Satish tied Priyanka's hands and feet to a chair. He arranged the crime scene to make it look like a violent attack by strangers. This included making the room chaotic with blood everywhere and signs of a struggle. Satish wanted the police to believe that his wife had been murdered by two strangers who broke into the apartment. After completing the staging of the crime scene, Satish locked the apartment door from the outside and went out as if nothing had happened. He continued to pretend that he had just returned from a jog. When Satish knocked on the door and did not receive a response from Priyanka, he immediately called the police and narrated his false story. He told the police that two unknown men had entered the apartment and killed his wife. As soon as they received a call from Satish, the Lucknow police station immediately dispatched an investigation team to the scene in BDA layout. At the scene, the police found Priyanka Gupta's body lying on a chair, her hands and feet tied and marks of a sharp weapon on her neck. The scene showed signs of a struggle, with blood splattered all over. Police cordoned off the scene and began collecting physical evidence. They took photographs of the scene, took blood samples, and collected traces for analysis. Priyanka's body was sent to the hospital for an autopsy, which determined the cause of death to be strangulation and slashing with a sharp weapon. Satish Kumar Gupta, the victim's husband, was the first person questioned by the police. He said that he had gone for his usual morning jog, and when he returned, he found the apartment door locked from the outside. When he did not receive a response from his wife, Satish called the police and some neighbors. He said that two unknown men had come to the apartment in the morning to ask for old newspapers, but he had told his wife not to open the door for them. Satish's story initially seemed plausible, but there were several discrepancies that raised suspicions among the police. Satish claimed that it took him about 45 minutes to get back to his apartment, while a typical jogging route would only take about 10 to 15 minutes. This discrepancy in time raised doubts about his story. Police checked Satish's call records and location history. They found that Priyanka's call to Satish took place around 5:30 a.m., while Satish claimed that the call took place around 6 a.m. This time difference made the police suspect that Sadish's account was inaccurate. Additionally, upon checking the location details of Sadish's phone, the police found that he had not gone as far as he had claimed, but had actually remained close to the apartment throughout the incident. This added to the suspicions about Sadish's involvement in Priyanka's death. Police continued to question Sadish and witnesses, including neighbors and co-workers of the couple. Neighbors said they did not see the two men that morning. Sadish's co-workers at Infosys were also questioned to confirm the timing and Sadish's actions that day. Investigators also checked security cameras around the apartment area, but found no trace of the two strange men that Sadish mentioned. All of these clues indicate that Sadish's story is full of inconsistencies and is suspicious. Police continued to collect other evidence from the crime scene and Sadish and Priyanka's apartment. They discovered several traces of blood that did not match Sadish's story. Additionally, upon closer inspection of the apartment, they found Sadish's fingerprints and footprints in unusual locations, suggesting that he may have moved Priyanka's body after the crime. After gathering enough evidence, the police confronted Sadish and presented him with all the evidence they had gathered. Faced with the incontrovertible evidence, Sadish finally broke down and confessed to his crime. He said that he killed his wife due to a long-standing family feud and the humiliation he felt when Priyanka insulted his parents. Satish gave a detailed account of how he planned and executed his crime. Satish Kumar Gupta was arrested shortly after confessing to the crime. The case went to trial in 2017 with much public attention. During the trial, evidence from the crime scene, witness statements of Satish's confession were presented in detail. Satish was sentenced to life imprisonment and fined 25,000 rupees, although he appealed. The High Court upheld the verdict. In prison, Satish was assigned to teach other prisoners because of his education. This case has shocked and made the community think about domestic violence and marital conflicts. It has made clear that small conflict, if not resolved promptly, can accumulate into major tensions and lead to unimaginable acts of cruelty.